And hello, how you doing? My name is Dean Denardi, and welcome to another episode of Entrepreneur Pit Stop. And I am here today with BoostHer, an Entrepreneur Pit Stop. We are going to talk about some of the things when we're on the entrepreneur journey and we get tied down, bogged down, so busy, and there's a lot to do, and we're in that rat race of building a business, being founders, or putting together teams, or all the different things we have to do. We have to take 5 minutes. We have to pull over into that pit stop and refuel. We have to check our tires, make sure our engines aren't running overdrive and everything. And that's what we do here at Entrepreneur Pit Stop. We take 5, we talk to specialists, experts, people on the journey, and see what their experiences are. And I want to thank you, BoostHer, for joining us in the pit stop. And let's get started. See what you guys have to say. And I'm interested to know, why BoostHer? Boost has been around for a couple of years, almost 15 years, 17 years in the Turku region, building a startup community, mainly founded through the university. It's run and operated by university students. And we've had Laurie online with us before, and a couple other Boost representatives, and to hear what's going on and to see what you guys are up to. But now you guys just started a new chapter called BoostHer, and I would like to welcome today with us is Uruj. How do you say your name? So I don't want to botch it up. So this is totally impersonal. Go for it.
No, it's okay. So I'm Uruj Sarwar.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm honored to have you with us today. What do you do over there? What are your roles in BoostHer?
Yeah, thank you once again, Dean, for doing this. I really appreciate it. My position is the tech lead for BoostHer. I joined basically when the concept started. I've been around Boost for a couple of years myself. My academic background is I'm a biomedical engineer, and I moved to Turku about 9 years ago to do a master's in biomedical sciences. I never went for entrepreneurship or startup because of visa formalities. But when I discovered Boost, I was a bit active in the past 2 years as a volunteer, and I noticed that there is a lack of women and also like international visibility in the ecosystem. So when the BoostHer concept was kind of derived from Boost last year, I basically went to the concept owner, which is Heta, and I was like, I have to be in this team. So currently I manage the LinkedIn marketing strategy, and whenever they have any technical workshops, so I try to do the outreach, and sometimes I even conduct the workshops myself. So that has been my role.
Okay. Interesting. So actually, this is interesting because myself as an expat immigrant or someone not from Finland, seeing the gaps in the ecosystems, and there's plenty of them here. So one thing that's nice is not only seeing them, but doing something about it. So it's really nice that you stepped up. Now you actually have your own little personal side story to this whole startup thing, because you were recently part of a team who did the startup. What was the weekend that Boost just had?
A startup marathon.
Yeah, the marathon weekend. So, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But first, I want to know about BoostHer itself. What do you guys, why BoostHer? I mean, Boost has been around for years. It's been women inclusive. It's been, non-gendered, segregated. So, they've promoted men and women equally. And over the years, there's been plenty of, young women come through there and being involved in everything else. Why the need to create a whole new chapter for, young women? Why? What's the...
Yeah, that's a very good question. So if I talk about my personal experience, I was part of the Summer Accelerator Program Startup Journey last year, and I came with this intention, with this experience, that there will be more women, but surprisingly there weren't. Out of 30 participants in Startup Journey, there were only 3 women. I was one of those 3 last year. And I felt that I am being heard, but not as much as my male coworkers at the time. And I can also understand that maybe the ecosystem kind of got used to it, that, the male entrepreneurs, they've been around. So it's just easier to get like a male speaker. It's just easier to get like a male entrepreneur to do the workshop. But I don't know exactly if I talk about 2 years ago, even though Boost had women, but if I compare it to last year specifically, I think there was a decrease in the number of women. So when I went through the Summer Accelerator program, which was an amazing experience, don't get me wrong, but I could feel these smaller things, and I tried to communicate with the female mentors. They understood that. Some male mentors also understood that. And when I saw in the Finnish ecosystem that there are these other initiatives like Wednesday Herra, so my mind was like, okay, so I'm not being a bit delusional. Maybe over the years.
Right. It confirmed your feelings, your senses, what
Yeah.
you saw going on. And you're like, it's not just me. Somebody else believes me that this is not, that there's an imbalance.
Yeah. And I think Heta, who is basically Heta Lako, she is the concept owner for BoostHer. This idea came to her even before BoostHer started, like quite many months before. And she announced it on demo day of Startup Journey. And I think I heard it a few weeks before she announced it. But that was the perfect point for me to like message her that, hey, I can bring the technical side into this team. So that's how I got more involved. And I'm also able to kind of work on my own skills. I recently started this facilitation group. I have been doing facilitation for quite some time, but to have this official platform where, like during Startup Marathon, I was just very bossy and telling everyone what to do. So that's basically the facilitation part that I think was one of my biggest achievement in this team.
Right. So that's excellent. I want to know. So is it, as a woman, is it important to have more women to lean on in your startup entrepreneur journey? What's the difference? I mean, why is there a need? Because for me, I personally, as a man, I don't care if it's a guy or a woman, if they know the skills that I'm looking to acquire, I'll lean on you. I'll be, I'll look to you to, talk to, and because when you're talking about business is non-gender, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Methodologies, marketing, sales, business structure, whatever it is. The only thing that might be different is some of the humanistic aspects of, the degree of empathetic perception.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, there might be, not that men aren't empathetic, but there may be more women with an empathetic perspective than men, and there's some gaps there. I'm not going to get into that, but just generally, are young women, are women feeling that they want to see more of themselves in the ecosystems, and that's the support that they look for? I find this very interesting. I think it's great that you're supporting each other. I think we should all support each other, but I've seen in other ecosystems a drive for building separate accelerators for women, and now like women founders of Finland. Now there's new organizations coming out to support and develop more women being independent in startup communities.
Yeah, that's an excellent point to bring. Before I joined, let's say, the Finnish startup ecosystem, I worked in academia for about 5 years and also in industry in Turku. And I have to say I never experienced any gender, racial, or that kind of discrimination. And for me, differences based on gender or culture or religion, nationality, it never came in a professional setting. In Finland, and also, so I'm originally from Pakistan, also in Pakistan, there are some hiccups, every now and then, but it's not like that.
That's humanity.
Yeah,
there's always going to be a hiccup.
Yeah, like I've had my share of hiccups as well, but that's not I would say that's not the extreme environment as compared to the startup ecosystem.
Okay.
Because if I have to pick one specific example, in Turku, I worked in embedded systems. We were like a team of 11 people. There were 9 men, 8 Finnish, 1 international. Me and this Finnish lady, we were the only women. And there was none of this discrimination. Like the thought of gender being a problem, it never came to my mind. We would just come, do the work, software,
Sure.
hardware, and that's it. Or make some jokes about sauna or, just very casual, friendly,
Yeah.
and that's it. If I move to the startup ecosystem, it might have something to do with how fast paced it is. And I wonder, maybe for young women who they don't have that work experience outside of the startup ecosystem. So when they come into the entrepreneurship social group circles, maybe it's a bit like fast paced.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there's this level of intimidation.
Okay, I could see that. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I could totally see that. Men tend to be a little bit more aggressive, and in that environment, they're like, yeah, okay, let's go. It's like everybody's running around and it's like intense,
Yeah.
It can definitely, I've seen it before. It could be a very intense. And don't get me wrong, I've seen a bunch of intense women too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see young women that don't have the experience, haven't been around it, and they're looking for a confidant to say that this is okay, it's safe, it's allow yourself to just explore. I think that's great. That's a really good, healthy example of the push to help support other women in the startup ecosystem and the startup journey. So that's really nice. So now let's move over to action. What does BoostHer do? What do you guys do? How do you fill this gap? How do you promote women in the startup ecosystem and startup journey?
One thing is that even though BoostHer might seem like a separate initiative from Boost, but we are still in collaboration with Boost.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. It's one entity as Boost.
Yeah,
right.
Because the thing is, even though we want to promote female entrepreneurship and minority-driven businesses, we are also saying that men are still welcome. It's not that we're discarding that, but But
it gives a stronger support. It gives a stronger support identity for women, and I think that's fine. Nobody's saying that it's segregated and that there's only BoostHer or Boost and they're not together. Now we know it's one entity, just that they have a representation to show young women that there's if they're uncomfortable, that there's a welcome mat.
Yeah,
let's say for them. Yeah, right.
Yeah, because what we did, we started with the concept of low threshold workshops.
Okay.
We had this first event as the Dream Lab, where we wanted all the participants to basically write 100 things they want to be in life, they want to achieve. So, starting very low threshold. Then we entered the concept of panel discussion brunches, where we talked about venture capital quite recently. Then we talked about just basic struggles when it comes to money. This dilemma that should I quit my full-time job to pursue a business, or basically how to manage both. And then we have skills and well-being based workshops. I think the skills one, they are associated with entrepreneurship skills. So we did this LinkedIn based workshop where we had personal branding as one aspect, and the other was how can you actually use LinkedIn to first gain traction, and if you already have a business, how can you set up like a company profile? We did notice that we need kind of an extra push. That's where the mentoring program came in. So we took a bunch of mentors. I was actually a mentor in that program as well. And we took a bunch of mentees. What we did, we first promoted the relationship of mentoring to the mentees and mentor. But it was a bit specialized because we wanted all the mentees to work on their startup ideas. And then I brought in the facilitation part. So I had these one-on-one sessions, one-on-two sessions with the mentees, with other participants in the ecosystem as well. And I just pushed them that go to Startup Marathon. And I always said that, these are free resources in Turku. So take advantage of that.
Yeah, just have the experience. Sure, just go and show up. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't have to create a business overnight, but just get in the energy and interaction and collaboration of it and just see how it happens.
Yeah. So I think that was a good push. And I noticed it wasn't only for women. I could also see men being more confident. I have seen some men in the ecosystem, they were a bit shy. But when they understood that things are starting from a low threshold, so then Startup Marathon was quite easy for them. It was stressful for sure, but I could see the progress in all of the teams that they went through this struggle. But in the end, there was this strong sense of confidence and also sense of belonging to the ecosystem.
Right. So Boost and BoostHer really offer a start from zero springboard where you can feel comfortable not knowing anything, not having any experience, being intimidated, being uncertain. And it's like very small, slow baby steps.
Yeah.
Getting used to the whole idea. Just conceptualizing it and playing with it, like in a sandbox. So like in a way, Startup Marathon for Boost and BoostHer, because I know you guys do it together. It's one event for all of Boost. It's like I was there over the weekend, and it's a real like ease into the whole startup idea, and just play around with it. It's just a fun, lighthearted event to really get your feet wet, see if you even like the idea, play with some of the ideas that might be in your head, get together with people, knock it around, but yet go through a structured, a structured format that helps you to see the developmental side of a startup.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's excellent. So what are some of the standalone events or things that you're doing to host at BoostHer for women that might be separate from Boost, that you guys do your own little thing? Like, are there any kinds of events or special gatherings or things that you offer to some of the, to people who might be interested?
I think the panel brunch has been a very good, it has been a very strong BoostHer event.
Okay.
Because it brings many people together, and we have good food in the morning. And then, you take the food, then you sit and you listen to these very insightful conversations, because I think that's also the part that's inspiring everyone. When Startup Marathon ended, I also told all the participants, like, go to the next panel brunch, because they will talk about venture capitalist and basically all the messy things that are associated with money. People, I think, in the ecosystem, especially young entrepreneurs, they don't understand what does it mean to be scalable as compared to if there's like a consultancy-based business. Actually, I did ask this question from the audience, like, will the VC immediately reject if you have a consultancy-based idea? The VC, she didn't even think for a second. She just said yes. So I wanted the community to know that these people exist. They are here. They have also faced the same struggle. We don't have to like run away, but it's good that we have these specific events. We also do these well-being ones. So we have a bit of exercising in this ecosystem. In one event, it was kind of like ballet, but the actual exercise is called barre. So we said that regardless of whatever is happening in your life, exercise is a good coping mechanism. So you should work on yourself. But after having that exercising session, we had a small pitching session as well. So there's always some element of entrepreneurship in these well-being related events. We also have self-development concept events in which speakers have come and they have talked about how confidence in your daily life, it's a bit different than entrepreneurship confidence. So that has been another event concept. These have been quite standalone BoostHer ideas.
Okay, that's cool. Right.
Another event was I did introduce the idea that we should do the pitching event, but when I saw that Boost also wanted to do low threshold, so we just combined, and in the past 2 weeks we had these events with Toastmasters, which was even better because it was even more low threshold, and it was entirely different from the kind of pitches that we see in the startup ecosystem.
Yeah, that's because the Toastmasters is not a startup pitching format.
Yeah,
They don't
yeah.
know,
Mm-mm.
they don't structure the same. Like I used to work with Toastmasters, and as good as it is, it's not really,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not good for startups. It actually creates an improper
Mm-mm.
representation,
Yeah.
but it's a good place to practice public speaking.
Yeah, because in their second event, what they did is, I think they changed their strategy a little bit by saying that we will have a pitching competition, and it has to be like a proper startup pitch. So
Yeah.
then they some guidelines that even though we are Toastmasters, but we want to promote this entrepreneurship based pitches. And I have to admit that when the event started, only 4 people signed up. I was one of those 4 people. But when the BoostHer audience saw how low threshold the environment is, from 4, the number went until 11. So that was a good impact from collaboration. And I felt people who have never done pitching in their lives, they were able to pitch their ideas at that point. So I think we had the collaboration, and like you said, that Toastmasters, they're kind of their own entity. But I liked that they were flexible to come to the entrepreneurship.
They tried.
Yeah, they tried.
They tried.
Excellent, actually. Yeah, I would say.
You get an A for effort. Yeah. Right. So listen, let me ask you, some of these events with BoostHer, some of these, the mentoring, some of these standalone things that you do at BoostHer, some of the people, the professionals, experts, or whatever that you have come in, are they men, women, or are they only women? So that you're only staying with the theme of women supporting women, or do you invite male specialists in? What's your position on that? Like, how have you handled that?
Yeah. We noticed that when it comes to Boost events, like you said, there is a mix of gender. We see male and female instructor speakers, but we do see less female speakers sometimes. So what we did, we have a priority that let's bring in women speakers, but we also have male speakers, male workshop instructors on our list.
Right.
Basically, the thing that we said that we're not discarding, but we also noticed that when we're marketing the initiative, then more female mentors are also contacting us.
Right. So you're looking, right, you're not discarding the men, but you're looking for women first. Right.
Yeah.
But if they're not available for that theme and for that thing that you want to host, well, then you go to whoever's available. Right.
Yeah.
But you're looking for, I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. I mean, you're looking for women first, which is right. I think it's you BoostHer, women supporting women, to find women in that field, specialists or mentors or whatever you're going to do, whatever you're going to host, that would be the way to go. I mean, that's the first initiative. After that, if they're not available because there's more men than women in startup ecosystem, you go with what you can get. Right, exactly. And then that's fine, but that's good. I think that you should have first initiative mindset of finding women to run the workshops or experts, outside experts, or whatever it is first. This way, I would like to hear, you can share quickly your little experience, because I know with the Boost Marathon recently that you were in a team and you had a pretty cool idea. Now, you don't have to talk about the idea if you don't want. It might be, I don't want you to give it away and have someone else run with it.
Well, no, in the marathon, I was like an entrepreneur in residence, a mentor.
Right, but weren't you a part of that team that won?
No, I was. So my mentee was in that team, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So excellent. So they did pretty. So that was excellent. I liked their idea. So now I can see how your connection to them fits in because of the background. So
Mm,
that's perfect because they did without getting into it, they did a whole biotech
mm.
startup,
Yeah, yeah.
platform startup for and
Mhm.
their first time founders, and that was really cool. And it was well, it was three women and one guy. But and then you were their mentor. So what's your plan? Not
Mhm.
yours, but Boost Her in the
Yeah.
next, like, just what are two events you guys have coming on that's isolated to Boost Her that you'd like to promote in the next, whatever, 2, 3 months, whatever it is?
Yeah. I can maybe answer also like the marathon part, even though I was like a mentor for everyone, but one person from the winning team is like my constant mentee at this
Mm-hmm.
point. But in the Toastmasters event, I did pitch one idea about my migraine tracking app. I've been working on a small prototype, and what I did was that I didn't really practice for the pitch. I went to the Toastmasters event just to see that can I pitch some kind of a product here with a clear problem validation. And I came in third, so I was quite happy about that. I wanted to participate in marathon with the same idea, but I also thought that others should get a chance because I've been in Startup Marathon last year, and I thought maybe facilitating other people in marathon, it's a lot better. So I pitched my idea instead in Toastmasters, which was an amazing experience. And then coming back to the part that you said, the upcoming events, we have one self-development workshop 9th April where the speaker will talk about confidence and skills. And then we have another well-being based event also in April. I don't remember the date, unfortunately. And then we have a collaboration event with Boost, where we will talk about startup journey, because that's what we want to promote to boost her participants and just like
Right.
an entire ecosystem. That's why
Right.
we're collaborating. And I will be the one moderating the discussion because I was a participant last year. And Lauri will be one of the panel guests. And we're trying to look for people who have been in startup journey and what can they do, what can the participants right now do for the application, and how does the application process goes, and what is startup journey basically. So that's like a breakfast event in April we have. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Very nice. I'm looking forward to Startup Journey. I'm actually one of the mentors for Startup Journey. So
Nice.
that'll be
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
Amazing.
Um I'll also plug that if you guys, if I've done a bunch of stuff with Boost over the years. So I do the pitch development and different personal development coaching
Nice.
and mentorship.
Yeah.
But okay, so great. So I think that's all we have time for today. But I want to thank you for joining us here on Entrepreneur Pit Stop and promoting women supporting women with Boost Her in the Turku region for the startup ecosystem. And I think you guys are doing a great job. Listen out there, if you are a young woman, especially in the university, and you're have some ideas, curiosity, and want to check out the startup ecosystem or just to see what it's about, contact any of the girls down over there at Boost Her. I think they'd love to hear from you. And they're a very supportive organization, as you've heard. Once again, thank you very much for joining us today on Entrepreneur Pit Stop.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dean, for inviting us. This is honestly a very honorable situation because this is exactly the kind of thing that I mentioned that we have the initiative and then people also reach out.
Right.
So I really want to thank you for this, Dean. This has been amazing, and it was really lovely speaking with you about Boost Her.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You have a good day. And from Entrepreneur Pit Stop, thank you. And we'll see you later on the next turn.